Tinubu on Thursday met with traditional rulers from across the country, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Abubakar III, and the Oni of Ife, Adeyeye Ogunwusi, at the State House in Abuja to discuss the current state of affairs in the country. The Oni said that traditional rulers are not in support of any violent protests and expressed fears that the planned protests may be hijacked by people that have ulterior motives.
Let them put a face to it, and don't let it be hijacked by people that has ulterior motive. That is our stand. We condemn such acts fully. We traditional rulers are not engaged in people, especially the youth, coming out to start looting, to start breaking down law and order. We are parents, we are traditional rulers, we are closer to them. We are going to go back home and continue to engage them.
Well, earlier in the day, the president had said that he took part in the protest against the military regime in the country, but that the protest was not violent, adding that he has worked hard to uphold Nigeria's 25 years of unbroken democracy. Tinubu made the comment when he received a letter of credence from the new United States ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Milley. Well, I don't have that video, but let me read his statement there. He wrote, "During the military era, we made our voices heard against dictatorship, and I was part of the group that engaged in peaceful protests without resorting to the destruction of property. Inasmuch as we believe that demonstrations are part of democracy, we will never encourage any protests that lead to the destruction of lives and property." Well, Dr. Abati, I mean, this is what we have been talking about peaceful protests, and that's what, you can hear the government saying that it has to be peaceful if there's going to be protests. The protest should not result to anarchy. But, well, in the meantime, the Department of State Services, in a statement on Thursday, said that it has identified those behind the planned nationwide protest, adding that they found it to be politically motivated. Their tweet reads in part, "DSS counsels against planned protests in Nigeria." While the Department of State Services, DSS, has followed the discourse on planned protests in parts of the country in the coming weeks by persons and groups yet to identify themselves in the public as leaders of the plot. While peaceful protest is a democratic right of citizens, the service has confirmed a sinister plan by some elements to infiltrate the protest and use it to cause chaos and extreme violence in the land. It has also identified the reasons behind the protest to be political. The plotters desire to use the intended violent outcome to smear the federal and subnational governments, make them unpopular, and pit them against the masses. The long-term objective is to achieve a regime change, especially at the center. Based on the foregoing, the service wishes to warn all protest groups to eschew any form of proposed rage, anarchy, and spoliation, while the different levels of government have routinely explained their agenda to ameliorate alleged harsh economic conditions. The service urges the prospective protesters to listen to the voice of reason, good conscience, and patiently engage with the authorities in the interest of peace. I mean, again, it is good to see that the DSS also has reacted in this manner, but they have said that, they're yet to identify these plotters of the protest. But Dr. Bati, I've heard you talk about these flyers that go around and they say days of rage, which we should condemn because we've seen them on social media. The protest should be peaceful. I don't know how many times I would say this. The idea of protest is our constitutional right. But I'll say to you again that I have seen these flyers. And one of the flyers I saw was on a former presidential candidate here in Nigeria, Omoyele Sowore. But let me take one of the tweets that he had put out at one point. He wrote, question, who are the organizers of the End Bad Governance in Nigeria? Days of Rage Revolt in Nigeria. Answer, hunger, unemployment, insecurity, poverty, and corruption. Yes, we have heard that. We know that that is why the youth want to come out to protest. They have identified their grievances. But you can see his flyer here, and that's the flyer that says Days of Rage Protest. And I think that this is not what we should encourage. Absolutely not what we should encourage. I believe that, I don't know who can speak with the people on social media to make sure that if they are going to protest, it's about what their grievances are and not going out to cause violence, anarchy, and rage. In the meantime, the president also met with a delegation of Islamic leaders led by Shakar Bala Lau at the State House on Thursday. At the meeting, the president said that his victory at the polls was purely by divine intervention and careful planning, adding that he has no cabal or sponsors. While reacting to the planned protest, the president said that it is fueled by anger and hate that could denigrate into violence and set the country backwards. He restated his administration's commitment to meeting the needs of citizens, emphasizing that Nigeria's economy is on a path of recovery. Definitely, he has said a lot of, he has set the motion rolling. He has been conversing with traditional rulers, with governors, with citizens. Before I read some of his reforms, I love your comment while I catch my breath.
All right, so very quickly, yes, and I'm so glad that you pointed out, because rage simply means extreme or violent anger.
Absolutely.
So when you say days of rage, especially as promoted by Mr. Shore, then you would understand the concerns of this administration, of this government, in order to, to prevent a state of anarchy, breakdown of law and order. However, I think it is also important to separate it from what a good number of young people have come out to say is a peaceful protest to demonstrate their dissatisfaction with the current state of governance. And that's why he was right in saying that the proponents of this peaceful protest is the reality, or the realities of what Nigerians are facing. Are people hungry? Yes. Is there unemployment? Yes, the stats show it. Are people finding it difficult to make ends meet? Yes. And then what we've consistently said side by side in terms of against violent protests is that let the president come and speak to the people. Let him highlight some of the things that he has done and what he will do. And for the traditional rulers who have gone, I hope that the traditional rulers use the opportunity as fathers of different communities to state the grievances of their people to the president, not just a shake hand meeting, but an opportunity to really advocate for the people that they govern, that they rule over in their different communities. I think that was a great opportunity for that, and we must have more traditional rulers and spiritual rulers come out to speak up about the situation of things.
You talked about the president highlighting some of the things that he has done. Let me highlight the statement that he made when he met with the traditional rulers there. He said, "We are reworking the social welfare scheme to reach the ward level, which is the closest to our people. We will ensure that we reestablish connection with the wards again so that we can give allowances to the poor and the vulnerable. The student loans will pay for school fees. There will be monetary support for the education of our children. Consumer credit will support citizens in buying cars and houses, and they can repay them gradually. We have increased the minimum wage by more than 100%. The sponsors of the protest do not love our country. They have no love for the nations. They do not understand citizenship. They have alternative passports. They are in different parts of the world, holding meetings virtually. We do not want to turn Nigeria into Sudan. We are talking about hunger, not burials. We have to be careful. We should be careful with premature politics, politics of hate and anger. The internet has made it possible to hold meetings in artificial settings. They hold meetings and sponsor anger." I heard you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to say a lot. Number one, please, nobody supports violent protests.
Yeah.
I condemn totally any attempt of violent protest. But I also condemn any attempt to stop people from hearing their voice, to speak their mind. I think it was Voltaire that said very prominently, I might disagree with you totally, but I will never stop you the chance for speaking your mind. The truth is, let's not deceive ourselves. If they say poachers have political slant, one of their APC governors, Governor Fayemi, recently came out to say that in 2012, the reason why they protested was because of politics. There's always been political connotation to protest in this country, except we want to deceive ourselves. Dr. Abati is seated here. The economic indicators were very good under Jonathan, better than this. The protest was because of politics. I am not for politics. But the greater problem is the hunger.
Right.
Which he has not addressed, which we are saying he should address. He said he's giving student loan. In a country where people can hardly get jobs, you are giving student loan. Do you know the debts that will come out of the student loan?
I've always been for
even in America, that you have a better economy. Do you know how many times Joe Biden has said they should clear student loan debts? He said they are going to give people money to buy cars and homes. Yellow con. You will incur more debts. Do you know how much debts cash apps have destroyed Nigerian people?
All right.
Microfinance banks.
What do you propose?
What I propose is make the economy better. How do you make the economy better? Invest in small businesses. Okay. Then you must do something about petrol prices and the rising inflation. The rising inflation is also caused by over 100 trillion in money in circulation. When Emefiele wanted to solve that problem, didn't some governors supporting President Tinubu then went to the Supreme Court and said no with the Naira resign policy? Till today, and he should tell us, is it paying subsidy or not? Mr. Wale Edu say it's technically, what is technically paying subsidy? Tell us if you are, be honest with, transparent with the people. So these are the things. I totally condemn violence.
Absolutely.
But President Tinubu has not done a lot to make Nigerians happy. The empirical facts are there. Let's stop deceiving ourselves.
All right. I have read some
of the... If he does well, we'll praise him.
Yes, I have read some of the reforms that he has said that he has put in place at this point. I mean, even as we speak, the UN has also said that they have intelligence that the protests might be hijacked. We've also heard from the DSS saying that the protests might be hijacked. But, you know, users on social media have been listening. I'll pull up a video from TikToker Uncle Pros, who actually was very, very adamant about this protest, and he's changed his mind. Let's take a look.
To suspend the protests. First of all, we discovered that ethnicism has come in, tribalism has come in, religion matters have come in. And whenever there is religion issues, of course, it's a big problem in Nigeria. And secondly, we are looking at the the level of insecurity in Nigeria. That some people might take advantage of the process and hijack the protests. So we look at all of that and we decide to, okay, let's step aside and let it rain. Let's see how it goes. As the masses are preparing, government is preparing. And you know nobody can fight government. So if the people that disagreed decide to impersonate and join the real congregation that are for the protest, they will start causing problems, harms, and doing all the illegal things, violations of the Constitution. The politicians will not escape us forever. They should continue to be hitting on us. But time will come when all these things will change and bounce on them.
All right, Uncle Pros there has talked about, you know, religion and has gotten into it. We've also heard from our traditional rulers. Even the Oba of Benin also sent his statement. If we can pull up that statement here, he's asking Nigerians to actually postpone this because of the intelligence that they have heard. He said that, you know, the federal government, should also speed up efforts at implementing its economic policies to ease the, current hardship faced by Nigerians. All right, Dr. Bati.
Well, I mean, we treated this subject at length when we had the headlines on this program this morning.
Right.
So there isn't much to add. We've said it very clearly. The government is not saying do not protest. You can protest. It's your right under Section 39. But the government is saying that no responsible government will fold its arms if people want to cause mayhem. All the security agencies have spoken in unison that they are prepared and that they will not allow a situation where anybody imposes anarchy on Nigeria. Now, the military headquarters, some people say they cannot join. I said, look, the military can be called in the aid of civil authority under Section 2172, sub 2C of the 1999 Constitution, so it's within their rights. What I do not understand, however, is that the military headquarters, the defense headquarters, is saying they know the unscrupulous elements. DSS says that there are some people who have been planning and they are tracking them. The police say they too are ready. Why is it that nobody has been arrested? Why is the state, a responsible state, having identified people who want to cause problems, will not fold its arms? We should hear that some people have been arrested because they want to cause problems. And then, of course, they too will have the right to defend their rights. President Tinubu says some of the people are people who have alternative passports, who are from other areas. We need no more information. Who are those people? We should be told who those people are. So traditional rulers are against it. APC governors say they don't want problem. State governments that are not even APC are saying, well, we want peace in this country. The big point that President Tinubu made is not about the fact that he was involved in the protest, it was peaceful, but that any form of protest, Kenya style, Uganda style, Tunisia style, Bangladeshi style, is going to even affect the masses of the people. Transportation will be disrupted. The same economy that we say is bad, it will get worse. Now, people are complaining about bad governance. Yes, they can protest and express their grievances. They have the opportunity to mobilize towards 2027. If you are aggrieved, wait for 2027 and make your statement with your vote. That's what the people of Britain have done. They voted out the tourists that they think are not doing well. So that's what is done in democratic societies, not through violence, not through anarchy.
Well said, Dr.
I'm sure nobody here wants violence.
Absolutely.
And we have said that much.
Well said.
And in fact, the defense spokesman was saying that if you have a smartphone or you have a car or you have air conditioning in your house. So he was praising it as an attack on the middle class.
Well, all right. You've said